I'm sure you have seen your fair share of terrible cartoon characters and could even name a few if I asked you to. But the person we're gonna take a look at today probably takes the cake when it comes to the worst parent in all of animation. And you'll find out soon enough why I'm saying that. Martin Mertens is the father of this lovable blonde-haired hero, Finn the Human. He sets the bar very low for being a parent when we see him for the first time in the show, and then somehow proceeds to mess up every interaction he has with Finn and anyone else that comes his way. So he is first introduced to us in the episode Escape from the Citadel, where he's trapped in a gem within the deadliest prison in Oo. A prison so exclusive that it is guarded by cosmic guards in an alternate dimension. So already I feel like that is a very big red flag. Cause I mean, what did this chubby guy do to be imprisoned in a jail that holds genocidal cosmic maniacs? Unfortunately, it is never revealed, so if any of you have any theories, feel free to let us know in the comments. So, after Finn helps him break out of his gem, his first reply to being told that was his son was, "Hey, good for you, kid." And he quickly jumps away trying to escape the place, even though Finn was still trying to ask him a few questions. Fortunately, his leg gets melted clean off by a blast from one of the guardians, and now he needs Finn's help to get some goop which can heal his leg. And this is the first time he acknowledges the paternal relationship between him and Finn. This is because now he needs Finn to get the healing stuff, so he tries to persuade him. But in the course of this, he even mistakes his name for Flynn as he's cheering him on. And all the while, Finn is begrudgingly doing this because it's his first time seeing his dad and another human in Oo. So even though he's not really up to it, he still tries to do it, even though Martin has been a jerk. Finn still remains optimistic about all of this, and their first encounter ends with Martin abandoning Finn and Jake to face the literal embodiment of death on their own. This man really yelled, "I'm heading to the store," and proceeded to dip out of there. And Finn, still having questions for him, runs after him. But Martin gets on a spacecraft while Finn is holding on to dear life, and because of this, Finn loses his arm. Martin disappears, showing no empathy or regret for his actions, and Finn is left deeply traumatized by all these events, and rightly so. He tries to deal with this by making a plan that involves punching his dad in the face and breaking his arm, which I fully subscribe to. And all of this happened in like the space of 7 minutes. But this gives us so much to unpack about Martin as a person. The most apparent thing being his unusually high level of self-centeredness. Throughout his exchange with Finn, his main focus is to get himself out of harm's way, and at the expense of anything. He doesn't even consider the news Finn gives him about being his son until he needs Finn's help to heal his leg. And as soon as that's over, he gets into a spaceship and leaves the place without a second thought of the child who just risked his life to save him. That's Martin. In every situation he finds himself, his wants and desires for comfort and wealth come before the needs of the people in his surrounding, even if it affects their health, safety, or life. In the episode The Visitor, he crash lands his spaceship on a planet of impressionable aliens. He then pretends to be a tree spirit in order to get the inhabitants to build him an escape pod and bring him food, Lumpy Space Princess vibes. He puts all of them through bodily harm, as the place that they were getting the materials from was very dangerous, and the villagers were in no condition to do all of this. Finn is so disgusted by his actions that he quick starts the escape pod that Martin was using to escape without it completely being shut. Next, we can talk about how this man is completely emotionally empty. You know how people have this thing called a conscience that helps them to relate well with other people by guilting them whenever they're being jerks? Well, Martin doesn't have one. So his filter for treating other people like garbage is non-existent. He proceeds to manipulate and abuse people without a second thought. He also cannot process the distress and pain of others, which allows him to add to their suffering without a trace of empathy. This trait is put on full display when he is offered food by a group of koala people who take him in when he has nowhere to go. He lies to them that he needs their space moth, which is their only source of food and transportation, to get them better food from the market. And in the literal next scene, this man goes to town, sells the moth, and uses the money to buy drinks at a bar. Talk about ruthless. And at this point, if you were pissed off at his character, I wouldn't even blame you. He's just terrible all around with no redeemable qualities. But you may be asking if he was always like this, cause I mean nobody starts off this messed up. So let's take a look at his origin story by going back to the Adventure Time miniseries Islands, where we're given a full backstory on Martin and how he met Minerva, Finn's mother. And it's even worse than I thought. Martin starts off his life as a con man, which is actually a job befitting of his qualities. He tries to con some grandma from the mafia, but it proves unsuccessful and he gets his legs broken. You don't mess with the mafia. He is sent to the hospital for treatment, and that's when he meets Minerva. After doing a scan on him, she reveals that he suffered a serious concussion. This is important as it may have been the cause of all his mental problems throughout his life. But after that, he manages to win Minerva's heart. This is the start of their beautiful love story. And a few months later, Minerva is pregnant. She then gives birth to Finn the human, and Martin goes so far as to become a barber, to become a contributing member of society. But as you know, good things never last, and the past always comes back to haunt you. So Martin is ambushed by the mafia grandma one day just out of the blue when he's at home, and he has to run away with Finn the baby to survive. He is chased into the ocean where the Guardian, this crazy iron golem thing, mistakes him for someone who's trying to escape the island, so it attacks him. In order to keep Finn safe, he sacrifices himself and destroys one of the eyes of the Guardians. This results in him watching away at sea and leaving Finn on the raft. And I think this is the only time in the whole series where he does something for anyone other than himself. Minerva is left devastated with all of this, and she never sees or hears from Martin or Finn again. Martin loses most of his memory and goes off to do the Martin things that eventually lead him to committing the cosmic crime that gets him arrested. And this is why I say he's the worst father in animation, because of all the things he has done to Finn. And I think the most interesting thing about this whole story and arc of Martin is that his downfall is one of the most interesting things that we've seen in animation. It shows us that there are some people who just aren't meant to be happy or who aren't meant to be good people at all. Martin is just selfish. He just doesn't care about other people. He's just trying to run away from his problems and his responsibilities to a world of comfort and wealth. And who can blame him for it? I know I can't. And if you have a problem with him because of that, then I think the writers did a great job in writing a character like this. He's just meant to be hated, and I think you would really need to watch the episodes that he appears in to understand how much abuse Finn has faced from him. And that's how you're gonna turn up if you do not like this video or subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little breakdown or analysis into the worst father in animation. Thanks for watching this video till the end, and I hope to see you next time. Tune out.